Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, things are bad for Democrats right now. I think that's plainly apparent. You simply can't deny it. But just when you thought that things were bad, well, they get a whole lot worse. And it's not because Democrats had 3 Democrat senators ditch them right ahead of 2026 in key Senate races. It's not because their congressional approval rating is down to 21% with their party rating down to 29. It's not because of the ridiculous activism or their clown show politics or the fact that they take the wrong side of nearly every single issue. No, it's more due to where the party is headed. And that's really been the conversation as of late. Are the Democrats going to pivot? But it seems like they're doing more of a CNN-style pivot. In other words, not pivoting at all, just doubling down on what isn't working. And this right here, this basically confirms it. The latest report from CNN is beyond parody. You literally cannot make this stuff up. The Democrat voters have seemingly crowned their new leader moving forward, sending a very clear message as to the direction of the party. And guess what? They're not crowning their new leader as Kamala Harris. I guess we're not going to have a 2024 runback. It's not Gavin Newsom either. It's not Pete Buttigieg. It's not all the names that you've heard recycled a million times. No, the voters are apparently anointing Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez as the new face of the Democrat Party. AOC, the same woman who probably couldn't even pass a basic civics test, the same woman who could barely form a coherent thought without sounding like a college sophomore struggling through her first political science paper, and yet CNN is now telling us that AOC best represents Democratic voters. She is the future of the party. And while she's likely not going to be the next presidential candidate, although anything's possible, the headline alone tells us pretty much all we need to know about the future of the Democrats as the demographic shift where this party is headed, and it's just not good. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so just take a look at this report right over here.
The Republicans have the White House, the Senate, and the House. If they want to do this, and if they want to screw over the American people, they can do this with their votes and their party.
The question Democrats have confronted since Election Day is, who actually is leading their party? Well, a new CNN poll out this morning gives us a sense of who Democrats and Democratic-leaning voters think best aligns with their party's core values. And that's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the New York Democrat and progressive firebrand who was furious at Senate Democrats for allowing the GOP spending bill to become law. Now, it all comes as a slew of potential Democratic presidential candidates are already testing the waters for 2028. Just to look at a little bit more in this poll, the question about who best reflects the core values of the Democratic Party, if you break down among age group, perhaps no surprise, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a few people who are younger than 45, 15% say that she does. That's more than Kamala Harris. And, she's still with people above 45% doing reasonably well. Now, just to be clear, there are a lot of voters who did not offer a response. 30% of voters didn't offer a name in response of who aligns with the Democratic Party's core values.
Well, if that's what the party wants, then potentially, sure. Her rise kind of reminds me of what happened to Republicans after Obama's election in 2008, where it was the loudest voices in the Republican Party, the Tea Party, that really gained traction at a time when the Republican Party was lost. And maybe Democrats now find themselves in a similar situation. And AOC, maybe she best represents where Democratic voters are.
Yep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has leapfrogged to the top of the list. Now, she's always been a part of that list, but generally she's been towards the bottom, and it's always been the same establishment names at the top. But I guess the Democrat establishment has totally collapsed, and now this is what they're left with. They're left with the socialist radicals, who I guess have totally co-opted the party, and now AOC is at the top. AOC represents the Democrat Party. And this right here, I'm telling you, this is absolute worst case scenario for the Democrat Party. I think it's sending a very clear message that the corporate Democrat days of Bill Clinton are dead. The moderate wing of the party, completely extinct. The establishment has lost control a long time ago, and now we're seeing the final stages of this transformation. The Democrats are officially the party of AOC, David Hogg, and Harry frickin' Sisson. The young, woke, radical leftist loonies have taken over, and I don't think there's any going back. And what's hilarious is I'm seeing some headlines, even one from CNN, trying to compare AOC's rise in the Democrat ranks to Obama's. Are you freaking kidding me? At least Obama sounded intelligent when he read off the teleprompter. Say what you want about his policies, but at least the man could sell his ideas. AOC? She couldn't debate a brick wall without losing. Kamala Harris looks like frickin' Ben Shapiro next to her. This is an absolute disaster. And what it spells to me is general election doom, specifically because AOC can't pivot. She's too far gone. This woman has spent years building her brand as a socialist bartender turned activist who hates capitalism, who believes that no one is illegal, who pushed the Green New Deal, called for defunding the police. Oh, just defund the police and your neighborhood will turn into a suburb. Well, how exactly are they going to turn that into a general election strategy? The Democrat Party has a serious problem. In fact, they might be collapsing before our very eyes. There's an unsustainable dynamic right now with the party, and I think it's best seen in the primary process. You notice that if you want to win the nomination, you have to be woke, right? It's like a woke test, because the primary process has been hijacked by the most radical elements of the left. You have to pander to the socialist crowd. You have to say, I want to abolish ICE, defund the police, reparations now. Trans kids need hormones at 6 years old. Taxpayer-funded health care for illegal migrants and gender-affirming surgery for illegal criminals sitting in our prisons. It's an insane litmus test where you have to adhere to the woke dogma or you simply can't get past the primary. You know, this has been the dynamic of the Democrat primary process, and increasingly so over the last couple of election cycles, and now it's reaching a peak. These people, the woke radicals who control the primary process, are totally taking control of the party, and eventually, they're going to nominate somebody like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I mean, they're really not far off. They almost got Bernie past the finish line a couple times. Well, AOC is basically Bernie Sanders in young female form. And if the woke radicals have their way, I mean, she's the perfect person, right? A far-left democratic socialist, a woman, a POC. I mean, she ticks all the frickin' woke boxes. Well, this thought process, this woke culture has taken over the party, and now this is the Democrat Party. The socialist wing, the Hamas caucus, the woke socialist squad is the future. And actually what it feels like is that the Democrats have utterly collapsed. All the moderates have ditched the party, and all that's left now are the far-left radicals. And what the far-left radicals want is a socialist revolution in the nation. And so that's going to present a very, very tough situation for the Democrats as the country, and especially the younger generation, continues to move more towards the right. Well, the Democrat primary process is moving more towards the left. And so how are the Democrats going to pivot? That's really the issue. They've already sent a message to the people that they're the party of David Hogg, they're the party of AOC. Well, if the primary continues to move in that direction and they elect far-left radicals as they've been doing, again, how do you pivot in the general election? What are they going to do? Host a Who's the Wokest Wokey game show event for the primary process and then pivot in the general election? Go from tampons in the boys' bathroom to all of a sudden being a quasi-conservative moderate Democrat? It's not going to happen, and it's going to come off so incredibly disingenuous. But more so, what's likely to happen is continued infighting. You know, AOC and other candidates like her are most likely going to start making big gains during the primary process, but the corporate media and the Democrat establishment powers that be will likely do everything they did to Bernie Sanders to the next socialist candidate, and it's just going to be absolute chaos and mayhem. They're going to rig the system and install a Gavin Newsom-type politician, and it's going to further alienate people and tear the party apart. In other words, the Democrats are screwed, and AOC, the politician who's been the butt of every frickin' joke, is now likely on track to be their presidential nominee. I can't even wrap my head around it because it's been a joke for a long time that AOC is going to be the first female president, or that she's going to be the future of the Democrat Party, and mostly it's been said in jest because it's so utterly ridiculous and unbelievable because she's just so bad. I mean, how else can you say it? Just keep it in simple terms. She's just bad. She's just unintelligent, cringe, incapable, and unqualified, and now she, quote, best represents the party. We are possibly seeing a downward spiral, the likes of which has never been seen before. The woke socialist single mother pandering Democrats have taken over the party, and it's about to be an absolute frickin' show. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.